body become as a silk robe. So your arms, your fingers, your legs, your toes, your neck becomes as a silk robe. Find your inner drishti between your eyebrows. Look through it or look at it. That revered inner drishti. Affirm within yourself right now, Trisha, that you're perfectly safe and you're exactly where you're supposed to be physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Conscientious breathing will always enhance the quality of your session. You see what I did there, you guys? I transferred responsibility onto the receiver a little bit. We can work with color, sound, and fragrance because the skin is not the only organ that's breathing. The lungs are not the only organ that's breathing. The skin is also breathing. So really be creative with the use of color in from any place in the body and out to any place. Color, sound, and fragrance in from any place in the body and out from any place in the body. Okay, it's very important also to suggest two more things for Trisha. One is, Trisha, sanctify your inner voice. Elevate yourself from the influence of what the Buddhists call the tyranny of the drunken monkey. Think about how mystical the five senses are. So the mind has to calibrate and has to monitor the mystery of the eyes, the mystery of the nose, the mystery of hearing, and that makes the mind like a drunken monkey. It's like, what the hell is going on? And then throw into that the influence of the mind. So if you sanctify your inner voice, I like to work with the word gratitude a lot. Gratitude for the pleasure, gratitude for the pain, gratitude for the success. What's the opposite of success, you guys? Gratitude for the failure. Okay, failure is a very good teacher. And of course, gratitude for the faith. What's the opposite of faith?
Fear.
Doubt.
Okay.
So gratitude for both of them because they're both teachers, and so like that. Okay, guys, and then for myself, before I touch Trisha, remember the more that you can perform your art, the closer you're going to get to its essence. There's 10,000 ways of getting lazy in this art, and I found all of them, and I was corrected 10,000 times. But if you can arch your back, which of course would be Mula Bandha, right, wouldn't it? Yeah. And, or Uddiyana Bandha. And if you pull your chin in, okay, that's going to be Jaladhara Bandha. If you roll your shoulders back, if you curl your tongue back, if you gaze at the tip of your nose occasionally, one eye then the other, maybe both, okay? If you listen to the cosmic choir, if you engage your Mula Bandha, now you're going to be bringing more to your arsenal than just these five senses. These babies right here are subject to mistake and also limited in their capacity. So go internal so you can really feel the person. When you counsel somebody and you talk about a sense of success, and then you talk about success, and you see that they realize the difference between a sense of pleasure and pleasure. What we want is the real thing. We don't want a sense of it. Why are we getting a sense of it? Because we're filtering it through our senses. Okay, we don't want a sense of happiness. We want what? Happiness, not a sense of it. So when you internalize your awareness, now you're getting that real essence. Make sense, you guys? So remember to sway right and left. Remember to sankalpa yourself. See the session is already finished. Cast your seeds into the future. See the session is already finished. Sanctify your inner voice. Sway right and left, forward and backwards so you can find your Shushumna. Many times the client will say, oh my God, look at the room, the energy just changed. That's because we're busy over here before we touch you, really getting centered. And then we come into Puja, my friends. Enjoy your transition. Okay, the reason they're in a crucifix position is only initially. You see later on we're throwing them all over the futon, and we're not throwing them all over the futon. Outside hand, do something conscientious. This is called a receiving mudra. It's asking the universe to please guide me. And then your hand goes onto the belly like a flower petal resting on a pond. Soft and generous, no hard edges. And the attunement is quite involved. Without judging, analyzing, or diagnosing, you tune yourself to their heart, to their breath, their breathing and to their soul by asking quality questions exclusively. Do not be concerned with the answers. I had a therapist one time, and right at the beginning of the session, he goes, "Oh, Mookie, it's your liver." And I was very patient with her. I didn't say anything. The reason you may be getting in touch with that, the reason you wouldn't bring it up, because why? It can change in a heartbeat. So why would you bring it up and then the person, "Oh my God, my liver's," the whole session. So if you get in touch with anything like that, just let it go, and then later on you can talk about it if it persists. Okay, now remember what we brought in yesterday also, the 4 options of a shaman. Who remembers what they are? The first one is what you're learning here, which is called assisted hatha, or Vedic Thai Bodywork. The twisting and the turning and the rhythmic compressions and all of that. But who remembers what the other 3 was? First is, oh my, look, you're such a poor teacher, they don't remember. First one is movement and exercise. Remember, I may need to send her away even though she traveled 2 days on a Bullock's cart to see me. I might have to summarily dismiss her and say, "Trish, movement and exercise, girl. Go out there and get a hula hoop, jump rope, go swimming, dance, all of that." That may be what she needs. Okay. And the second one, of course, is prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation. Okay, good. And we see it all the time in yoga class. People are coming, and if you ask them, "Are you meditating?" They're like, "No, I'm here to make my body pretty and get healthy and have better sex." But meditation is why we are doing yoga, so that you strengthen your system to be able to handle 2 different energies. There's only 2. Cosmic is coming down, and Kundalini is going up. And if you think that I'm being novel with that, I'll show you a picture of a lobby at a psychiatric hospital in India. And you walk into the lobby, and there's a poster, and there's an arrow pointing this way for Kundalini, and there's an arrow pointing this way for psychosis. That is how powerful Kundalini is. Don't force your awakening. I've been with people, especially you guys in your 20s. Okay, the 20s are the most difficult decade, and because you have 3 things. You've got peer pressure, you've got who am I, and you've got idealism happening. And if you force your enlightenment, you are going to become unstable. So be in a tribe, make sure you're in a tribe, in a family, and that you can all grow together. And serve, 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 serve. Come here, forget about getting paid, just do service. You see it in martial arts also. I was doing kung fu, not kung fu, jiu-jitsu, something in Manhattan, just for a couple weeks. But you see the boys coming to class, and they're doing the floors, and these were big floors, and they're doing them, and they're just cleaning the floors first, and not getting paid, and they're showing their dedication to the art. Okay, guys. So there it is, and I have to be feeling the distinction between their need for prayer and meditation, their need to be twisted and turned and compressed, their need for, and what's the last one? Food and herbs. Maybe she needs to get some CBD happening. Anybody appreciating CBD oils these days? Yep. Okay, maybe she needs to do some, turmeric to reduce inflammation in her body, and St. John's wort and all these things. Maybe she needs to tweak her diet a little bit. And so look at the responsibility of this position right here, and like so. Okay, so let's just go through what you learned yesterday, my friends, okay? So we came into a respectful stratum. We brought that energy of respect with us because we understand that it's not a little bit getting in the way of cosmic energy for her, but we bring respect with it. Always bring the arms closer. And here we go, you guys. You start with the lumbar cradle, reaching under here. 2 distinct motions. One is up, and I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to fly through this, okay? So I'm going to ask your forgiveness, yeah? Hope I don't have to be any cravings from you. Okay, it's up, and then you sit back, slide your hands forward. 2 distinct motions. One is up, the other one is sit back, and back to position number 1 again, up, and then sit back. Then come up into here, into Apastamba. Get the receiver, take a nice deep breath, and as they exhale, you compress to various intensities and various durations, and Always working with our dear friend resistance therapy and asking her to breathe into your hands. You have soft, generous hands, and as Serafina pointed out, they are accessing muscles that they didn't even know that they had when you offer resistance therapy. Always work with resistance therapy, my friends, because you're blessing not only yourself as a practitioner, but you're blessing the receiver, because you're quantum leaping yourself with more education. Because if they're just remaining flaccid, then you're tuning into just those passive muscles, aren't you? But if they start to move, when I get a massage on the table, I tell my practitioner, you're going to see me writhing. Okay, I'm going to get as much juice out of this as I can. I'm raising my leg, straightening my leg, raising my leg, my hip is going. But they're being educated because now we're feeling a whole lot more muscles than they were if I just remained passive the whole time. So work with our dear friend resistance therapy. Okay? Several here, my friends. Several benefits are innumerable. You know, liver, gallbladder, diaphragm, lungs, heart, digestion, elimination, many, many benefits. So we come in here and we do our finger circles. We want to empty this of hydraulic pressure. She doesn't have it build up. Many people have it build up in here, and you want to empty it. Okay, several times back and forth. Come up into here, and a little walk, little finger walk, pulling muscles down and away. This is lung 1 in acupuncture, and there's lung 2 in acupuncture. We didn't bring our needles today, but we certainly have that little baby right there, which is the exact dimension that they need. Okay, but you know, become expert at these breath compressions, you guys, and it's palm over palm right here. Can I get that? Do we have that down? Always plenty of linens around, always plenty of pillows around. Have a lot of fun with those, you guys. Right here, just like that, having her take a nice deep breath, and as she exhales, I compress, maybe even some stirring. I don't do any pumping yet. I need to remove the excess range of motion. Again, like that. Maybe a little bit deeper before I do any pumping, and then we go for it. And then I stay at that level. I'm very deep right now. I get her to breathe into my hand. We do it again. Stay at that level. I'm at a new level now. They actually want you to stay in there. Okay, we can also come into a prayer mudra where you go here. It's not a prayer chop, you guys. You're going to learn that later, okay? You're going to learn thumb cup. Percussion, I wrote a big essay on it. Percussion is a therapeutic tool. You have white cloud. You have thumb cup. Sometimes that is the only procedure, because we do it on the back, we do it up here, we do a lot of locations, and here. Sometimes that is the only procedure that's going to go deep enough. So you're going to have to learn how to do thumb cup and prayer chop. But anyway, we're not doing that on here. This is prayer mudra. We're not going to do prayer chop. Nice deep breath, wide elbows, pull your fingers towards you and go for it. Enjoy yourself staying deep. Of course, you can come back to palm over palm. Okay? So now we come up into here, into the shoulder chakras. Feel it on yourself first. You guys reach across your body, roll your shoulder around, and feel the pectoral basin, how it opens up for you. And that's what we're going to be using this right here to emphasize. And like so, a nice deep breath. As she exhales, we're going to pull the muscles down. Then we're going to slide forward. And as we do, I slide my feet back and I learn how to lounge. And even if it's a very petite person, a very yin person, they really appreciate you being very, very sustaining this, okay? You're going to hear the neck click into place and the thoracic click into place. And look what I've done here. I've opened up her. You don't want to destroy any jewelry. You don't want to stretch any clothing. So be aware of that. But you're opening up her fourth chakra. You're stimulating the lymphatic flow. When you come out of it, you're opening a wind gate. So count at least 3 or 4 or 5 of those pulses. Now she's feeling a lot of heat right now. And I want to let her know that I feel that too. Then I just go into baseball coach for a few moments, and I, of course, let her monitor that. She's bringing her consciousness nice and deep within herself. You can offer that several times, okay? Coming back into here like that. Alright, you guys, this is called a pec pinch. I'm going to take hold of her pec muscles. I'm going to lift, shimmy, shimmy, lift, shimmy, shimmy, lift, shimmy, shimmy. And then I'm going to do some cross fiber friction here with the pectoral muscles. So I'm just sending fresh blood, fresh lymph into the breast. There's lots of lymph nodes in here, and they require that. I'm also going to reach alongside her body here. I'm going to create some cups. I'm going to put my thumbs right into the axial area, the armpit, and it's lift, circle, circle, lift, circle, circle, lift, circle, circle. Okay, just like that. We come back up here, and now in Thailand, you see all of these procedures I'm doing. We actually do all of them 3 times. You go through that whole routine again, and I haven't even finished yet. So part of it is coming up here, the 5th chakra, and then reminding the person to take a deep breath because you're going to cut up their breathing. Okay, and then you shimmy. You shimmy all the way down, and you shimmy all the way up. You shimmy all the way down, and you shimmy all the way up. And up in here, I'm getting all these crunchies happening right here. And again, stimulating the thyroid. This art is representing mechanical stimulation. Okay, in Thailand and in Japan, in China, you'll see many people doing this, doing this, doing this like that. So we're representing mechanical stimulation. If you want chemical stimulation, you go to CVS. And if you want, of course, electrical stimulation, you go to a neurologist. But let's be proud of it. We're blue collar. We're technicians. Like that. Okay. So when you address the carotids right here, which get clogged up, that's what a sore throat is about. If you can empty them of white blood cells, let the fresh blood, red ones go in there. You can break up adhesions around the esophagus, around the hyoid bone, around the thyroid, and of course the larynx is all in there. It wants attention. It's your 5th chakra. It's a palace here. It's a garden. It's got a sound vibration. It's got a deity living here. So you're just tidying up the deity's quarters. Okay, now we get even more delicious, you guys. As you come out of here, you've done this. You could just change up this choreography a little bit. And now you're just going to reach behind here, splinter really well. It's all levers and pulleys. That's why you see me move my knee a little closer. And then it's just not this, you guys, because you'll tire yourself. It's just leaning back. Okay, like that. Everyone loves this. You get so much done. This is a neck extension. I'm just working my way out with tiny little finger circles. I'll splint C7. Okay, and then I'll work my way out. I'm just introducing myself here. Anytime I want, I can go right back to butterfly palm compression. I can go right back to breathing. I can go right back to apastamba. I can go right back to lumbar cradle. It's a beautiful sequence. But right now what I'm going to do is the opposite. So here, as you see, you can do light elevations, or you can go nice and high. Like that. And people love this one, you guys. And then every once in a while you do the opposite, which is a neck flexion. Okay, and that's where you hold the cranium with the confidence of holding a child. Okay, and then you can either anchor the chest really firmly with your elbows and bring that nose forward, or you can just do it like this also. And then we enhanced the quality of this yesterday because this is just one trajectory, but there are 3 meridians in the back of the neck. So then you want to turn the head off to the side, pointing your nose towards your nipple, and then as you pull here, you want to also press on the shoulder. It's absolutely delicious, you guys. Okay? If you want to fine-tune that a little bit, reach all the way under, put your middle finger in the lamina groove, get your groove on, right at T4, pull T4 forward, pull T3, T2, T1, C7. Really wonderful. Okay, returning them to resting position anytime you fancy, boom, right back into butterfly palm compression here, right back into your breath compressions. Take a nice deep breath, and empty. Just like if you had a basketball at home and you want to just learn to see if you can get it bouncing from stillness. It's a good practice. Okay? And of course I would do all that to the other side. And then I'm going to take the back of my hand very gently. I'm going to bring her face over to the side. Okay, just for learning, of course you're not going to do this in your private practice, but you take the wrist and you pull towards you. Each time I'm doing this, you guys, you see what I'm doing? I'm calibrating where I want to put my foot, because what I want to do is I want to use my leg to do the lifting, not all this hunching over, but just use your leg. So it's position 1, position 2, position 3, and now you have a free hand. You put your fingers in the lamina groove, and you come all the way down the spine like so. And notice my leg is doing all the lifting. I turn it into a dance. I give her a little reminder tap to please remain resting so she doesn't help me. Sometimes you can do raking in here too, you guys, where you just rake like that. And here's something new for you, especially you guys have been around for a little bit. You see that I'm holding her here, but if I just slide gently to her elbow, like that, now you can see I can come upright, and guess what? You pull them towards you, you don't kick them, you bring your heel in like that, and then you let them rest all the way back on your heel. You elevate your heel nice and high, and you just bring it, I'm not on her bones here, you guys, I'm really trying to work with her muscles, and you just work your knee in like your knee, nose, your heel. So enjoy yourself there, you guys, okay? To say goodbye, my friends, there is another accentuation which I didn't show you yesterday, but she's actually craving a little bit of attention in here. So as you do her back a lot, sometimes you want to take the arm and go in the opposite direction. Watch, you press down and you lift up. You press down and you lift up. You press down and you lift up. It's really delicious, you guys. You're just undulating the person like so. Then every once in a while, you want to get this part in here. So we didn't do this yesterday, but you scoop the head like this, and then just 1, 2, 3, you go zoop, and you bring the nose towards the chest like that. A very satisfying accentuation, okay? Like that. Bring the person back to a resting position. She's becoming more and more like a Raggedy Ann doll here for me, which I like. And remember that, just keep in mind that a lot of people are coming for a session because they feel in their body that they're not rolling with the flow, that they're resisting everything, even out there. So in here, they're really appreciating the reminder, just go past it. It's okay. Just go past it. Okay, that surrendering happens to be one of the most important. So here I am. I switch my legs around very gently, bring that face over, and again, position 1, leapfrog, position 2, leapfrog, position 3, and then of course giving her a reminder tap to please remain resting, and then here we go, all the way down your back. Have your first pass be uneventful. Okay, you want to get their trust, and you can see how many position changes I'm doing. It's just the width of my middle finger. A lot of therapists are doing this in Thailand. You see just jump, 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 and that's being lazy. Put some quality into it. Have the more position changes, the better. And remember, direct your attention to the psychological benefits also. You're not just working by stimulating the glandular system or addressing subluxations or herniated discs. You're also addressing the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, which is all psychological. So any little bit you do is going to be a lot for them because it's psychological. Okay, enjoy yourselves back and forth. Maybe you want to get pretty demonstrative here, where you press the arm down and you lift up the back. You press the arm down, you lift up the back, you press the arm down, you lift up the back, like so, okay? And maybe you want to add this accentuation here, where you scoop under the back of the neck, and then it's 1, 2, 3, boom. Just take the tip of the nose right towards the center of her chest. Very, very satisfying. Now, we could do 50-50, you guys. You already know that. 150-50 here to accentuate. And/or as an option, just put the arm all the way by the cranium. Sit on your bum. And, of course, tap them on the opposite leg. Say tree pose. And put your foot here. Put your other foot on the elbow. Parallel thumbs right here. It's going to come right across the breast, so you really want to make sure that they feel okay. And then just before you lay out entirely, really just play around, because people love this. When you work with the deltoid and you work with all those other areas in there.
just playing around with that whole area. You get so much done so easily. Okay, and then of course if you can, don't assume that you can. Just their head is always going to come up onto their arm, and you just lay out. And then to enhance the quality, let's bring in our dear friend resistance therapy and ask the person to pull back on you. So pull on me. Good. And you get so much done, and you can see how easy it is. When she softens, I'll soften, so I don't keep her in fight or flight. And then my most joyful accentuation ever, my friends. Returning to a resting position and micro-adjusting your body. Come on up here. Come up here. Be very careful of your knees. Come into a dominant position and offer a full spinal decompression stretch. You could do Jaladhara Bandha if you wanted first. That is where you're not going to put pressure on the forehead. You're not going to put pressure on the top of the cranium. Your epicenters are right where Trisha's horns, right at her hairline, okay? No, Trisha's no horns there, I promise you, honey. Okay, here we go. Ready? Nice deep breath. And then let her do 99% of it. Dip your chin, dip your chin, dip your chin, dip your chin, dip your chin more for me. And then at the last moment, boom. Come into it nice and strong. And you'd want to do that several times. Give them some love taps. Maybe use the say when technique, a great way to learn. So Trisha, this time I'm going to keep going, honey, and all you need to do is just indicate some way or another that you're threshold, okay? Here we go, nice deep breath. And dip your chin, dip your chin, dip your chin, keep going, dip your chin, keep going now. Even here, you can say dip your chin more. Even when you're fully expressed, you can get some more juice out of this stretch, okay? And then the sister routine would be a yin collar, nice and gentle yin collar, underneath the neck like so. My middle fingers are outlining the occipital ridge. You only do it one time, you guys. There's a fire in the house. You love the person. You only got them by their neck. Boom. Remove the excess range of motion first, and then one time only. Okay, and then remember, reset her posture by going right back into a clavicle walk. Where you're just walking on the clavicle. You need to reset your posture. Then I'm going to sit on my bum, you guys, right here. I'm going to move her face over to the side. I'm going to have her permission to touch my head, her head with my foot. Or you wrap your foot in a towel, or you drape here like that, and you get it all done. I'm going to leave this off here so that you can see. And you bring in the mother foot, like so. You always make sure that the arm is close to the body. And then you ask her to reach down for her ankle, and as she does, you just take hold of here and you stretch. Okay, and you can see my trajectory, you guys, is towards her opposite leg. She's a starfish, I'm a starfish. We have these sacred geometric designs. Okay, and you hold this for, a few mantras or a few really deep breaths, maybe 10 or so. And you come into the center line, and of course you work right in here also. Nice and strong. Okay, and until you get used to exactly where it is, where you elevate your heel and find the center of that mandala right there, and you go in here, straighten your leg, dorsiflex your foot so you have a nice sharp heel. Just holding that for a while, very, very comfortable, very delicious. And we can also have her bring this hand over and massage herself, and you just observe them. And what she's doing, she's looking for that grain of rice. Right there, you see, you guys, she's found it right there. And I'm just take her finger, leave them right there, and I can just press there. A lot of people feel more confident with their hand there like that. And then you can go like that, and you get so much done. Remember, if you see somebody with their shoulders up around their ears, it means anxiety. They're expecting something to go sour. Okay? And of course, I would do that same thing on the other side. Hopping over here, maybe doing another full spinal decompression stretch, and bringing the head over that way, and then bringing in, so, and finding that trajectory, looking here also, as you come back into the center. Okay, you conclude this sequence, and this is just one sequence. There are lots of sequences, and you're not locked into that choreography either. Having said that, please know that you're going to go to, just like in martial arts, there are katas which you do not disturb. They've been that way for hundreds of years, and you have to honor every single motion. In Thailand, it's like that too. There's schools that the sequence, you do not disturb their sequence. It's exactly a certain way. But then as you travel around Thailand, as I do, I take the students into the jungles and we visit different villages, you realize that those people are not following the sequence, they're acting what? Intuitively. They're improvising, like in music, they're just creating it. So both of those are real. I'm a traditionalist also. I went to Valley Forge Junior Military College. So you can see how much I appreciate tradition, but I also love to see improvising. Okay guys, we can say goodbye with sound obstruction, where you can either use your tips of your fingers and use the tragus flap right here and obstruct the sound, and or you can use your palms. You can go pretty strong with your palms too. It's very comforting. And you hold that. You see, I turn my head up to the side. I'm engaging my mula bandha. I'm finding my inner drishti. I want to internalize my awareness so I don't get in the way of hers. You can release quickly or slowly. You can pull that debris or wave. Anybody do ear candling in here? Ear candling, anyone? Okay, when you have to ear candling, and you cut the thing, you look at what's in the water, pull out all, conditioner and shampoo and pollen and everything else. So if you want to do quick releases, you can pull that away. And then of course you can come right into cranium cradle, like that. So Efima does this beautiful technique where she puts her leg underneath, so sweet. Okay, but you can also go like this here, and you're holding the head, your cranium and the neck with the confidence of holding a child, and then just come into this position, easily removing anxiety and easily inducing sleep. You just have to turn your head away and be prepared to stay here for a while, and the next thing you know, there. Comments or questions, my friends? No comments, no questions?
Maybe I'm going to write a massage after this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a suggestion.
Oh,